Don't look at my emails. Rude. Henry Georgie. I think we finished book 5, yeah. Gonna get this tattooed. Welcome to the Henry George Daily Devotional, episode 59. We have made it to book 6, The Remedy. Very exciting. This book has 2 chapters. Chapter 1, Insufficiency of Remedies Currently Advocated, and Chapter 2, The True Remedy. This is it, boys and girls. Here's a nice quote from de Tocqueville. A new and fair division of the goods and rights of this world should be the main object of those who conduct human affairs. When I was writing a Georgism blog post the other day, I went in search of a quote from de Tocqueville that runs along the lines of, in America, everyone thinks somebody who works hard should get their own little fortune. Everyone thinks that that it's a meritocracy, but in fact, it is actually quite difficult and very chance-based about who earns a fortune. I tried to search the text for it. I then asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT generated a quote which sounded exactly like what I wanted. And then I searched the text for that quote from ChatGPT and found no matches. I asked ChatGPT if they made it up. ChatGPT apologized, said they did make it up, or they paraphrased, and tried to give me like 3 other ones. I searched the text for those and never found an exact match and was quite unhappy. Anyway, Excuse me. John Stuart Mill says, when the object is to raise the permanent condition of a people, small means do not merely produce small effects, they produce no effect at all. Alright, Henry George, Chapter 1, The Insufficiency of Remedies Currently Advocated. George says, in tracing to its source the cause of increasing poverty amid advancing wealth, we have discovered the remedy. But before passing to that branch of our subject, it will be well to review the tendencies or remedies which are currently relied on or advocated. I'm going to try tracing sort of as I go. We should review the remedies advocated. See chapter title. The remedy to which our conclusions point is at once radical and simple, so radical that on the one side it will not be fairly considered, so long as any faith remains in the efficacy of less caustic measures, so simple that on the other side its real efficacy and comprehensiveness are likely to be overlooked until the effect of more elaborate measures is estimated. Otherwise, our proposed solution will be rejected due to its radical simplicity. No, there's radicalness and simpleness. The tendencies and measures which current literature and discussions show to be more or less relied on or advocated as calculated to relieve poverty and distress among the masses, may be divided into 6 classes. I do not mean that there are so many distinct parties or schools of thought, but merely that, for the purpose of our inquiry, prevailing opinions and proposed measures may be so grouped for review. Remedies which, for the sake of greater convenience and clearness, we shall consider separately, are often combined in thought. That's funny. We finally caught up to where when I first joined the Henry George book club on the Georgism Discord. This is like where they were when I joined. Of course, I'd already read the book myself, but I was a little bit torn when starting this read through to be like, oh, I would like to be reading what they're reading, but now I'm starting at the start. All for John. There are many persons who still retain a comfortable belief that material, I'm going to add this to my précis, 6 groups of current reasons for poverty in wealth. There are many persons who still retain a comfortable belief that material progress will ultimately extirpate poverty. We can just call them techno-optimists, or just, well, techno-optimists are definitely a subset. And there are many who look to prudential restraint upon the increase of population as the most efficacious means. But the fallacies of these views has already been sufficiently shown. Let us now consider what may be hoped for. 1. From greater economy in government. 2. From better education of the working classes and improved habits of industry and thrift. 3. From combinations of workmen for the advance of wages, I guess that's unions. 4. From the cooperation of labor and capital. I guess that's the techno-optimists, maybe. 5. From government direction and interference. Yeah, just greater cooperation would mean labor-saving advancements or something, I don't know. 5. From government direction and interference. Yes, this is a smoother, less corrupt government. This is from fancy government manipulations. Of course, this is all before the Fed. And 6, from a more general distribution of land. That's if you simply forcibly redistributed land, which you'd think might be sort of what George ends up advocating for, but it's a significant but subtle difference, his radical and simple solution. Under these 6 heads, I think we may in essential form review all hopes and propositions for the relief of social distress, short of the simple but far-reaching measure which I shall propose. 1. From greater economy in government. I guess we'll be dealing with these one at a time. Until a very few years ago, it was an article of faith with Americans, a belief shared by European liberals, that the poverty of the downtrodden masses of the Old World was due to aristocratic and monarchical institutions. This belief has rapidly passed away with the appearance in the United States, under Republican institutions, of social distress of the same kind, if not of the same intensity as that prevailing in Europe. But social distress is still largely attributed to the immense burdens which existing governments impose. The great debts, the military and naval establishments, the extravagance which is characteristic as well of republican as of monarchical rulers, and especially characteristic of the administration of great cities. We thought that aristocracy was to blame for poverty, but USA has poverty too. And worse? Question mark. To these must be added in the United States the robbery involved in the protective tariff, which for every 25 cents it puts in the treasury takes $1, and it may be 4 or 5 out of the pocket of the consumer. I've heard that the tariffs in those days were basically like a sales tax. I am not a historian. I do not know the exact manner in which tariffs were levied. George continues. And I'm now going to check. I guess we'll go through we'll go through like 2 or 3 of these, I guess, in today's chit chat. There seems to be an evident connection between the immense sums thus taken from the people and the privations of the lower classes, and it is upon a superficial view natural to suppose that a reduction in the enormous burdens thus uselessly imposed would make it easier for the poorest to get a living. But a consideration of the matter in the light of the economic principles heretofore traced out will show that this would not be the effect. A little confusing. A reduction in the amount taken from the aggregate produce of a community by taxation would be simply equivalent to an increase in the power of net production. It would in effect add to the productive power of labor, just as do the increasing density of population and improvement in the arts, and as the advantage in the one case must go to the owners of land in increased rent, so would the advantage in the other. Yeah. So even if we alleviate these taxes, we lower taxes, the benefit all accrues to the landowners. I think this has been one of the chief mistakes I've made in my youth when believing in libertarian capitalism, where I always thought that minimizing taxation would result in a kind of freedom and a just reward for everyone's labor. And of course, I failed to appreciate the role of land. Of course, nothing I read ever spoke of these things in this way. Although the big clue would have been that some of the economists I read, Eric, whatever his name was, no, it wasn't that guy. I guess he's not really the economist. The rich dad, poor dad guy is not an economist. But I definitely, in high school, thought that, creating passive labor chiefly through purchasing of rental properties seemed like a fantastic way of making wealth. I played this game called Cash Flow, which was always joked around. Oh, Cash Flow game as like the new Monopoly. It's from the Rich Dad Poor Dad guy. Should probably get this board game and play it at my board game nights. I mean, yeah, these guys had it figured out how to speculate. $90 for Cash Flow. How much is it, Cash Flow board game? Cash Flow for kids? $68 here. Cash Flow 202. I feel like I need to start my Georgism meetup and bring Monopoly and Cash Flow for people to play. And then be like, yep, how is this not the situation we find ourselves in? Anyway, that was a tangent from discussing tariffs. Now, there seems to be an evident connection between the pervasion. Maybe I read this sentence, but I'll read it again. There seems to be an evident connection between the immense sums thus taken from the people and the privations of the lower classes, and it is upon a superficial view natural to suppose that a reduction in the enormous burdens thus uselessly imposed would make it easier for the poorest to get a living. But a consideration of the matter in the light of the economic principles heretofore chased out will show that this would not be the effect. A reduction in the amount taken yeah, I read this. In the amount taken from the aggregate produce of a community by taxation would be simply equivalent to an increase in the power of net production. It would, in effect, add to the productive power of labor, just as to the increasing density of population improvement in the arts, as the advantage in the one case goes and must go to the owners of land in increased rents, so would the advantage in the other. Yeah, I went way back. From the produce of the labor and capital of England are now supported the burden of an immense debt, an established church, an expensive royal family, a large number of sinecurists. I of course know what this means, but since you don't know what this means, I'll Google it and I'll read the precise definition. A sinecure is an office carrying a salary or otherwise generating income that requires or involves little or no responsibility, labor, or active service. This was something I remember sort of when you read like classic literature and you hear about people getting these sorts of like assignments from the government or something, and I was always like baffled, like what are those? And they just like get money. Let's see, the other things supported by the produce from the labor and capital of England. A great army, a great navy, and that's it. Suppose the debt repudiated, and the church disestablished, the royal family set adrift to make a living for themselves, the sinecurists cut off, the army disbanded, and the officers and men of the navy discharged, and the ships sold. An enormous reduction in taxation would thus become possible. There would be a great addition to the net produce which remains to be distributed among the parties to production. But it would be only such an addition as improvement in the arts has been for a long time constantly making, and not so great an addition as steam and machinery have made within the last 20 or 30 years. Recall, improvements in the arts means technology. Arts of production. And he's saying that yes, the advances that have been made through steam and machinery have been more than enough to compensate for the current costs of the church, the navy, the army, and the sinecurists, our friends. And as these additions have not alleviated pauperism but have only increased rent, so would this. English landowners would reap the whole benefit. I will not dispute that if all these things could be done suddenly and without the destruction and expense in a revolution, there might be a temporary improvement in the condition of the lowest class. but such a sudden and peaceable reform is manifestly impossible. And if it were, any temporary improvement would, by the process we now see going on in the United States, be ultimately swallowed up by increased land values. And so, this is why I no longer bother advocating for dissolving public education in really any form right now, since that if I used to I used to definitely advocate for getting rid of any public colleges, and I would probably get rid of public high school as well. I mean, I'd probably get rid of all of it, really, but that really, people then think I'm crazy. But I would always say just give that money back to the people. Poor families would be way better off if they had an extra, like, $10,000 or something or more a year for each kid. I mean, 10,000 is on the low end, probably. But now, as a Georgist, I've realized that that would only allow landlords to raise rents higher and suck up that money. And then while those who are not renters would just get to pocket the money. And so, in the United States, if we were to reduce public expenditures to the lowest possible point, quick comment. I would say since the age of like 12, I've been ideologically confused and frustrated at a very fundamental level about society and justice, and had mostly despaired of ever having a significant understanding, like holistically. I felt like I understood pockets. I felt like the nature of markets and price signaling and supply and demand with elastic goods, more or less, depending on how elastic they were. I could understand those in isolation. And then the rampant unfairness in society that seems systematic and just baked in, I could only hand wave generally at, like, yeah, there's corrupt government here and there, and I don't know, and oil. But it is wild to me now, the explanatory power that I feel like Georgism has given me. And I learned about Georgism over 2 years ago, and I sort of waited and thought about it and read about it for a year, maybe almost a year and a half, or almost 2 years maybe. Sort of thinking the rug would be pulled out from under me, even though from like the first couple hours of reading it, I could not see how it could be wrong. And I still have not seen how it could be wrong. It's just, it's there waiting for us. I don't know. George writes, and so in the United States, if we were, and I know that people don't love, some people react harshly against calling it Georgism after a man's name. Uh, I don't know. That's just funny to me. So many things are named after people that I've like learned about and studied when I studied science and when I studied religion and when I've studied some history, and then, like I was just reading about, is Shakespeare real this morning, that kind of stuff. And that stuff just doesn't bother me too much anymore. Um, Even if George ended up being an extreme pervert or something, while I do have this weird narrative attachment to him as a man after reading about him and learning about his life, uh, I don't think that would much affect my view of the structure of society. Although I guess then I would be moved to advocate for a different name, I suppose, just like people want to throw down slaveholder statues, I guess, which I have mixed feelings about. Considering how flawed most men were in history, how can you celebrate any of them in some sense? If yeah, well, I don't, anyway, side points. A lot of side points today. I think we're only gonna make it through this first bad incorrect remedy advocated the idea of greater economy in government. So yeah, if our government didn't provide for the army, the navy, the church, and the sinecurists, and so, in the United States, if we were to reduce public expenditures to the lowest possible point and meet them by revenue taxation, the benefit could certainly not be greater than that which railroads have brought. There would be more wealth left in the hands of the people as a whole, just as the railroads have put more wealth in the hands of the people as a whole, but the same inexorable laws would operate as to its distribution. I'm sure you guys all know what inexorable means, but just in case, it means impossible to stop or prevent, which you could have understood from context anyway. The condition of those who live by their labor would not ultimately be improved. A dim consciousness of this pervades. You know, you know, I'm just going to pretend, this way if I check every word, you can feel good about yourselves that you know some of these words that I'm already looking up. Although I will claim that I already know what pervades means and all of the other words clearly. Spread through and be perceived in every part of. No, it's just struck me that I've read this before, and the whole point of reading this is, well, I don't know. Half the point is to persuade John, kinda. I mean, I know he listens to most of these. Half the reason is to just go through it over again for me, and half the reason is to try to share it with other people, which is good Georgist math. 100. There's three halves make a whole. A dim consciousness of this pervades, or rather is beginning to pervade, the masses, and constitutes one of the grave political, what does this word mean? Relating to the government or the public affairs of a country, relating to the ideas or strategies of a particular party or group in politics, interested in or active in politics. What is politics? What is the definition of politics? The activities associated with the governance of a country or other area, especially the debate or conflict among individuals or parties having or hoping to achieve power. The grave political difficulties that are closing in around the American Republic in 1879. Those who have nothing but their labor, and especially the proletarians. What are the proletarians? A member of the proletariat. And the proletariat is workers or working class people regarded collectively, often used with reference to Marxism. The growth of the industrial proletariat of the cities, a growing class, care little about the prodigality, the quality of spending or using large amounts of money, time, energy, etc., especially in a way that is not very wise. Made famous by the prodigal son, care little about the prodigality of government, and in many cases are disposed to look upon it as a good thing. Furnishing employment. Yeah, you hear this. Making jobs. Making jobs. What a funny, making jobs is who care, make wealth and do it justly. It's such a cart before the horse thing to be like, let's make jobs. Or circulate money, yes. George is so good. Or putting money in circulation. The velocity of money. Tweed, who robbed New York as a guerrilla chief, might levy upon a captured town and who was but a type of the new banditti who are grasping the government of all our cities. I don't know the historicity of this story. Uh, Banditti means a robber or outlaw belonging to a gang and typically operating in an isolated or lawless area. Tweed was undoubtedly popular with a majority of the voters, though his thieving was notorious and his spoils were blazoned in big diamonds and lavish personal expenditure. After his indictment, he was triumphantly elected to the Senate, and even when a recaptured fugitive, was frequently cheered on his way from court to prison. He had robbed the public treasury of many millions, but the proletarians felt that he had not robbed them, and the verdict of political economy is the same as theirs. A veritable Robin Hood. George writes, "Let me be clearly understood. I do not say that governmental economy is not desirable, but simply that reduction in the expenses of government can have no direct effect in extirpating poverty." Extirpating means it is a gerund. Oh, the gerund is extirpating. Yes, the ing word. Root out and destroy completely. In extirpating poverty and increasing, another gerund, wages so long as land is monopolized. What does this word mean? Of an organization or group, obtain exclusive possession or control of a trade, commodity, or service. Yeah. Although this is true, yet even with sole reference to the interests of the lowest class, no effort should be spared to keep down. Oh, I've forgotten to keep on taking notes while I read. I guess we'll have to do that after. No effort should be spared to keep down useless expenditures. The more complex and extravagant government becomes, the more it gets to be a power distinct from and independent of the people, and the more difficult does it become to bring questions of real public policy to a popular decision. Look at our elections in the United States. Upon what do they turn? The most momentous problems are pressing upon us, yet so great is the amount of money in politics, so large are the personal interests involved, that the most important questions of government are but little considered. The average American voter has prejudices, party feelings, general notions of a certain kind, but he gives to the fundamental questions of government not much more thought than a streetcar horse does to the profits of the line. Were this not the case, so many hoary abuses. What have we got here? Hoary is an Old English word that comes from hoar, which shares its meanings. Both words refer to anything that is old and has the whitened look of age. Hoary abuses could not have survived, and so many new ones been added. Anything that tends to make government simple and inexpensive tends to put it under control of the people and to bring questions of real importance to the front. But no reduction in the expenses of government can of itself cure or mitigate the evils that arise from a constant tendency to the unequal distribution of wealth. And so concludes that part 1 of chapter 1. Greater economy and government. Yeah, so George is not against greater economy and government. He's actually for it. Especially here where he's saying this will allow the voters to focus on the actual fundamental problems and questions of fundamental questions of government. However, simply an efficient government will not a just society make. Alright, that's it for today's episode. Damn, I forgot to take my notes. Working backwards. George isn't against efficient government. Waste is bad. The size of government makes it smaller government would allow a focus on the fundamental questions. Alright. The proletariat loves a Robin Hood, such as Tweed, whoever that is. Um, Even if church, army, navy, sinecurists were got rid of, the landlords would gain that wealth. If this were done peaceably and instantly, there would be a brief time of justice. Cool. We must, the proposed solution is radical and simple and will be rejected if we do not dispense with currently offered remedies completely. There are currently there are roughly six groups of currently offered remedies. One, from greater economy in government. USA got rid of aristocracy, yet still has poverty as bad or worse than old world. If church, army, navy, sinecurists were got rid of, the landlords would simply extract all the newly available wealth. The proletariat loves a Robin Hood such as Tweed. George isn't against efficient or smaller government. Waste of wealth is bad. A smaller government would let the voters focus on the fundamental questions, yet it would not directly help poverty. Okay, that is today's pricey. We will go to the YouTube. Oh, we are logged into the wrong account. we will rename our recording to HGDD 59, Book 6, Chapter 1, Start. We almost... Whoa, what's going on? Am I still recording? I'm going to call this Remedy 1. Oh, I need to know how to defend fast players.
Choose how you defend a fast player. Choose how you defend a fast player.
Be fast. Yeah, anticipate the move. And yeah, there you go. That's great.
Choose how you defend a fast player.
That's the solution. Know what he's doing. Although, to be fair, fast players are somewhat predictable because they have relied on their speed as a crutch for most of their soccer. Not even a crutch. I shouldn't say a crutch. It is a strength. And so if you sort of anticipate that or understand that and look for the signals of a change of pace as opposed to some kind of cutback or passing decision, it can be helpful. But if they have space to run into and they're not terrible with their technique, it's pretty unstoppable. Unless you're super fast. All right, that's some Georgia soccer wisdom for you. Not really very helpful, to be honest. Okay. In our episode, we are 59. Small, efficient government would only enrich landlords. A smaller, efficienter, which is an efficient way of writing more efficient, while allowing voters to focus on the fundamental questions, would free up wealth that would be extracted by the lords of the land. I heard my video game in the background, which is funny. New attitude. What else do you want your audience to know? Alright, do I have more comments? No. Okay. Alright, let's, what is this? Mark outsmarts is there, what else have I pulled up? This window, Twitter, goodbye Twitter. Discord, okay. Closing Discord for now. Now we have our draft email. Publish. Um, I've um Alright. Hello, my darlings. Thanks for coming out to Ambitious Indie Game Night. Here's a bunch of info on the games you played and loved and are going to buy. And here's information on the groups you're going to join and make 100 best friends by being an active part of these communities. No puzzle behind. Finally, I do not know how to best introduce this, but I was a frustrated little libertarian. How do I phrase this for Georgism? For George, for George, for George, and 7 years ago. George, George, George of the George, 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 George. Oh no, it's there. Jack, no puzzle. Hmm. Mhm. 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 Bum 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 ba dun da dun. Curious about who these peoples are. The Odin guy. Didn't meet him. Met him. Maybe that person was there. I didn't meet him. Not there. I met Corvallis. Met. I know David. Not there. Not there. Didn't show. I know that guy. Didn't show. Didn't show. I know that guy. I know that guy didn't show. Ah. Maybe I should connect with this guy. I know Michael Wolf. Wait. Oh no, this is the other Michael. Not the Aoso guy. I chatted with him. I saw him there, didn't talk to him. I know this guy, chatted with him. I know Tony. And this guy was not there. Vicente. Oops. I'm always making ups, ups, ups. OC indie developers. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, we don't post. This is annoying. We don't post our Discord right here. We have it here. Content membership details. How do I can I edit this? Manage membership details. Oh, that's my membership details. Um, I'm gonna propose. I don't like this. They've come together to share our work and feedback with each other. We're sharing our feedback with each other. Over the years, we have seen a diverse mix of coders, artists, designers, storytellers, and more shows share their works of passion. At our monthly showcase, everyone gets a chance to promote their work and ideas. Yeah. Small team game or business app development. Well, that's not a good. We're all like most people are solo indies. Whatever. I'm working on this follow-up email from Ambitious Indie Games, and I finished the Henry George devotional today already. And I was just looking at this, like this about doesn't even have our Discord link, and it's not super well written. So I'm considering, do I want to spend 15 minutes rewriting this and pitching it, and then seeing if Tony will post that instead. I don't know. Maybe I just go ahead and post our Discord here. Oh, what's going on? Clear formatting. Do you have anything you want me? I sent you a Discord message, by the way, that you didn't respond to about a call to action or a link you would specifically want me to share here. Okay. I don't even know about this crow friend thing you had going. Oops. Whoops. Wednesday on the last Wednesday of the month in Santa Ana. Oh, I'm in the process of creating a studio name. My wife wanted to be a fan of it, so can't just my name, and we like crows. Sure, cool. I just didn't, yeah. Folks present what they've been working on. Folks demo games. Folks go to eat at Norm's after and complain about not being successful. This group, I'm super active in this group. We also do game jams, work jams, board game nights, camping trips, uh, online game nights, and one legendary LAN party. Meets on first Mondays at Verdugo in on the east side of Los Angeles. Just started a also now meets on of the month on the west side of Los Angeles. Now meets at Taps 33. I don't know what it's called. Indie Dev Club. There's the Discord at least. Past events. "33 Taps in Culver City." 33 Taps on the west side of Los Angeles. On other days. Meetup.com, Discord. Mostly just a hangout. Some people. Maybe a few people show their games. At cool bars. Indie Dev Club. Not super duper active. Official Unity group. Unity is a video game engine that games such as mine are made within. Virtual reality is better than reality. I'm not even a member of the virtual reality. This our meetup. I don't know. OC Unity. All message warped. You have a. Well, I don't know. I could probably maybe Boeing, California, huh? I don't know. Orange County virtual reality. Is there an existent Orange County VR meetup.com group? Existent versus existent. Extant. That's what I was. Duh. Orange County grup. Um. Does IGDA Orange County Eventbrite? You can't just share their account. Official website. Independent Game Developers Association. They're real official. They have chapters and boards. The LA chapter is dead and coming back, I hear. They mostly just is our hangouts, networking events. The OC group, the OC events are events. Nobody with any games. Sad. If you're tired of reality, check this out. Monthly meetups have just resumed. We're at an awesome makerspace / coffee shop just last night. What? Shoot. Independent. Independent. games you played and loved and are going to buy. Do we want... Oh, hey Avi. A gang by my childhood home was called Crow Village, so don't use that. What about Crow Hop? Hop can mean the move, or like a party, like at the hop. Makes me think of Sock Hop. It's a fun little song by um, all-time quarterback, which was the
It was the first 2 weeks of autumn.
the Death Cab guy.
Gave you flowers out of season, and all the people at the drive-in make out with each other until the second feature is closing. At the end, and you're roaming to find your keys in the lot. I took you out on Friday. We shared a milkshake at the sock hop. When we were done, we went to watch the sunset, but it never sank as deep as my heart.
This is getting too long.
At the end, and you're roaming to find your keys in the closing. At the end, and you're roaming to find your keys in the lot.
No specific page for this game yet.
I hear it's colder in Cleveland than anything could believe. And if there was another reason for you to stay in solid factory directs. I gave the invitations to the crowd around. They were all screaming for your blood and common adoration. Drugs will numb the situation, and you can go back home to mom and dad. Strippers, fancy cars, tattoos, overly indulge in smoke machines. Turned on 10-wheel calls the fire marshal to show up. But who could stop the rock when it had just begun to roll? Surely not me, as I was only a happy girl. I gave the invitations to the crowd around. They were all screaming for your blood and common adoration. Drugs will numb the situation, and you can go back home to mom and dad. Would you ever thought of this? A split at the seams, and I was careful enough to keep my questions to the least level of what I thought you could handle. I was 17 and you kept on changing the plan. Breaking into houses for the sheer thrill of a crime was fun
What?
at first.
Dang, there's some serious latency.
But I turned 13 and got harder to not get caught with the goods. I was 17 and you kept on changing. Plans were more complex 'cause the cop cars finally stepped up to bat.
Do game jams, work jams, game nights. Lonely nights.
This is the proper place, but I'm growing older without praise. All of
The Unity meetup. Jotson was there. He infiltrated. It was nice. I don't know, like a dozen people. And at a very unique coffee shop that secretly had a gigantic maker space in the back with like CNC, like 6 CNC machines, giant printers, tons of woodworking materials. Yeah, it was this. Yeah, it was amazing. It was wild. A giant secret room. I don't know, like 5,000 square feet. I don't know about 5,000 square feet. I don't know. Because it was, like 20-foot ceilings. Oh, he wants to build an escape room. I thought about talking to him about my ideas for escape room and like let's collaborate. Are you supposed to capitalize I don't I don't like putting them as one word. Alright, and then there's my event bright. Follow me on Eventbrite. How do I share my Eventbrite account? Or I don't want to do that. I thought people could just like follow me. Yes, you have these follow. Oh, copy profile URL. I can't see my viewers. I have 2 accounts. How do they? Exclusive space for their members, but they're awesome. They're awesome. That's right, Scrubbles. Good morning, Scrubbles. Good evening, Scrubbles. Tied to indicate. Do I want to promote Indicate? Probably not. That's We got enough things. You thought you might make it through a whole day without playing Helldivers, huh? You're an addict. I don't know what form or when my unhaunted house will happen. I will likely create an Eventbrite event for it, for both the demo playtests, the demo run-throughs, for the actual Halloween event. I suppose you can follow me on Eventbrite. Lastly, and most importantly, if you want to know the secret to life, the universe, and happiness, come learn about Georgism. I don't think I like this description. I cranked the FOV down to 45 to enjoy big zooms, and an hour ago, as part of the live progressions thingy they do, they put a new juicy exosuit behind a planet's liberation. Exosuits make players get on. Who'd have thought? Maybe you should put an exosuit in Pocket Dogs and lock it behind a wish list goal. Yeah, maybe. Hello, my darlings. Steam Critter. Animals or men wearing bodybuilding suits? I don't know. So How does one pronounce Ludum Dare? However one wants to. Oh, I'm gonna need a 5-minute break to think about how to pitch Georgism here. BRB, cereal.
bullet factory duets. I gave the invitations to the crowd around. They were all screaming for your blood and cum and adoration. Drugs will numb the situation, and you can go back home to mom and dad. of autumn. I kissed you on the cheek and gave you flowers out of season, and all the people at the drive-in make out with each other until the second teacher is
We're back to sock hop.
happy
Alright.
in the find your keys in my lot. I took you out on Friday. We shared a milkshake at the sock hop. When we were done, we went to watch the sunset, but it never sank as deep as my heart did at closing. At the end, no knowing. Find your keys in my closing. At the end, no knowing. Find your keys in my life.
What do we title this? And the other question is, do I send this from my Flock of Dogs Gmail? Or do I send it from Max Clark Gmail? Should these be bolded? do with your life after attending ambitious indie game night? Yeah, that'll do. Now, from Max A. Clark, charge money to jump in your plaza. Yes, that's a good idea. Brilliant. Do I send it from Flock of Dogs or Max Clark at Gmail? I feel like we do Max Clark. So these people are more I'm willing to more permanently connect myself to these people. I wish I didn't get these emails. I know I'm doing Spotify by podcast for podcasters, but I don't care about getting 2 emails every morning. Oh. Um. Alright, we'll do it. But it. No, I'm saying east side of. Alright, I have to go get my list of emails. That is exactly correct. My emails. Alright, you can't, I'm not gonna dox all these people. Case legal. How many recipients will emails start going to spam? Alright, I guess I can BCC all of them. Oh, we don't want to do it from this. Um, Alright, pulling the trigger. Done. Is there a way? X, Y, X. Y, X, Y. Oh, Ray's son? Yeah. Well, I misspelled that. Which ones? KA Slagle. Son Rodrigue. Gmail, get HTML copy of email. Oh, alright, well. Hmm. Alright, I'll search for this person over here. Oh shit, I forgot Reza. Damn. Yep, I'm gonna have to follow up. Don't look. Oops, not to them. I won't do that at least. Alright, I got this one wrong. Because it's K.A. Slagle. I got this one wrong. It was D. Rodrigue. And we know that raisin doesn't work. At least I got the BCC bit right. I made it here. Did I even message Reza? Wait, did I send that to all of you guys? Or what did I say to the rest of you guys? Um, Never think about it, just send. Um, why is it? Oh, because we're coming to Reza. Here you can watch. I'm doing boring editing. John makes games now appears. It's funny though. Jack's site seems to not populate with any preview. I don't know. Who cares? Should I leave Potato Land? I should leave Potato Land. Officially, I forgot Reza on the first email. Send up a follow-up email. So, sorry. I make 6, right? Oh yeah, and we also need to add. Wait, did I forget Jorge's game? I did. Jeez Louise. How am I so dumb? Jorge. Eclipse Breaker. I don't know, I'm the worst. Alright. Alright. Okay. Okay. I am actually embarrassed. Actually, I'm embarrassed now. How do you even spell embarrassed? 2 R's, 2 S's, right? 2 R's. Oh my god. Oh my. Eclipse Breaker by Jorge. I actually haven't played this game, only Jorge's old game, so I know nothing about this. Wishlist it. Except I think Jorge is a very interesting designer, and that is early in development. What does this say? I know, I promised only ever send you after you gave me your email address. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Take a moment. We had it was Vincent, not there. Jack, Reza, John, Jorge, Max, Evan. wonder why Flock of Dogs development has taken so long. Well, there's a clear demonstration. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Is this a fake hot girl account? Yep. Okay, well, we struggled through it. And your gun range in your window opened up. I saw you write that a while ago, but I will take no action based on that information. Alright. Well, alright, now we can get back to let's make a video game. Actually, I think I'm gonna go brush my teeth and then walk on my feet. I guess I can't walk on my dog. Yeah, video game canceled. Canceled for half an hour. I do also need to follow up with Michael. What is that place? Brewery West, Brewery West, Brewery, Brewery. An event there. I got the okay to start bike next week from the docks. I said you and John about nuts next week. Yes, what if? What if? Yeah, I need to fold my laundry, empty the dishwasher, go for a walk. I should probably do some sit-ups and stretching. Though the famous seem to easily be rich. Yeah, generally, but not always. There's plenty of internet famous people who are not rich. All right, go to sleep, Scrabbles.